Guys, we have a real special treat for you. Today we're bringing PJ Barch in the house. Really blessed to have him in, and it's really incredible because he's peak ADCC camp, getting ready, trying to win that ADCC title, and he made enough time to come in and drop some golden bars of technique.
So, jiu-jitsu itself was not on my radar. In fact, the first time I think I did it was I was coaching like middle school wrestling because I was home for a little while, and this guy was kind of trying to get me to do it with him, and I kind of like, I did like a 5-minute round with him, and he put me in full guard and just kind of swung him around and stuff, and I was like, this is so weird. He just got his legs wrapped around me. But realistically, it kind of started when I was in Hawaii, in Hilo, Hawaii, and I started training MMA just because I had some good friends doing MMA and they were really good, and I quit wrestling quite some time ago, and I just wanted to surf and go to college and hang out and be a normal kid. And but then, like, you know, they took me in to train finally. They convinced me, and you know, I was having fun doing the MMA thing, and I was like, man, these guys are so cool. I'm watching like BJ Penn and all these guys. This was back in like 2012, 2011, something like that. So jiu-jitsu was a little bit of a part of that, of course, and grappling, of course, but I was mostly just learning how to fight back then. I think 2015 I moved to San Diego, and that's when I really started doing jiu-jitsu. I dabbled in it a little bit in different parts, and I did some 10th Planet in 2013 in Oregon, but it wasn't until I started at 10th Planet San Diego in 2015. I don't know. The competitiveness of it was always like a really big factor for me. I liked being competitive. I liked being valuable, you know, and I think that like I was valuable in this setting because, you know, we build skills and things like that, and I think like I have been building this grappling skill for a long time, and so like me being able to walk into a jiu-jitsu gym and instantly like understand these things and be able to like replicate them and do them well and stuff like that, I was instantly like felt value from it, and also like friendships and things like that I got to build because I'm kind of the only way I communicate. Like we were boys, you know, like we didn't hang around like growing up and like talk about things and hang out like that. At least like I didn't, and we kind of just like wrestled with each other and beat each other up a lot and stuff like that. And so, you know, that kind of setting just made sense for me. And I think that like when I started training again and we're just kind of wrestling around with your buddies again, and you know, and I can be a valuable part of it because I'm good at it and I have skills in it, you know, it just made sense and it just seemed to fit. And you know, you meet some really cool people and you do some really cool things, and you know, now you have this skill that's worth money to others and things like that, and people want to see it, and it's valuable in some kind of way. So, you know, why wouldn't I? It's a skill that I've been building for quite some time, and so like, you know, put my eggs into that basket and stuck to it, and I love it. Yeah, I mean, this has like shifted over the years a ton and stuff. I think like it probably starts with like the fact that when I was like in the 7th grade, probably my dad told me like, hey, look, if you want to be a good grappler, you have to be able to hold people really tight, and you have to be able to pull people into you a lot. And so right away, you know, we put a pull-up bar in every frame in the house, and we bought grippers that went in every single car and in my backpack for school, and all I did was like squeeze things and pull myself up for a long time. And then I thought it was cool to cut weights, and then I'm going on runs and I'm building mental toughness and all these different things. And then you know, so I already built like a good central nervous system from a young age around like the strength and the controlling of people and humans and things like that. And so like that kind of started pretty young, and then, you know, you build some mental toughness and you build some ways to train, and then you get to see how big the pool is, and then you get to get humbled over and over and over again, and you learn that like, man, technique really trumps it, because, you know, I got whomped in wrestling at a young age because I was a pretty like weak white kid compared to some of these guys I was wrestling around with. And I had wrestled for years, and people in my family had wrestled, and these kids would flunk off the basketball team and pin me in 3 minutes. I don't even know, because they were just way better athletes than me when I was 12, 13 years old. but I just kept learning what I was doing, trying to get better at techniques, trying to get better at grappling, and then by the time I hit puberty, which was much later than everybody apparently, I was stronger, and my technique now matched my strength, and then cool, by like 10th grade, I'm ranked in the state, and you know, none of those guys have beaten me anymore. And so, you know, there's a lot of contributing factors, and you know, work ethic, and trying to really balance your life out correctly and maintain your relationships good, and man, there's a lot. It's just life, man, you know, and jiu-jitsu and grappling is part of that lifestyle, and trying to maintain it on and keep it all tight, and you know, dive into what you're good at and keep getting better at it, and staying humble and learning from everybody, and keep working hard. Man, I don't know, there's a lot of contributing factors, and staying focused is, you know, it's hard to stay focused all the time too. I'm getting probably a little bit off track from the question, but like, yeah, I think I'll leave it at that. Okay. Who wants to pin me? I was hoping for somebody like a little smaller, but I'm not warmed up, man. Okay, so don't kill me. Right. It's all a learning lesson, guys. It's all a learning lesson, anyways. Okay, so we're here. Boom, this looks pretty good. I'm okay. I'm happy with this. All right, ready? Go. Okay. Not bad. I haven't been under those in a while. So, what'd you guys see?
Fumbling around with the legs to try to get your leg free, and that inevitably helps you get that knee out. That's what I mean. And you just try not to be so flat on your back.
What do you think?
I like what Lorocco said. You're able to get space between your hips and then get your legs back in. I was too focused.
How did I get space? Let's rewind a bunch back behind it.
So when he comes that knee space, you grab that top of his foot.
That was later too, though. That was later too.
When he hugged you, you were controlling the inside.
There we go. That was a good one. That's kind of what I was looking for.
Or that to you.
Because you were like kind of, you weren't winning that initial pin. I was kind of like, so then I'm up on my side, right? And so because I'm up on my side, it's forcing you to come into me more. I don't know if you noticed that. You know, because I'm here, and so he's starting to crowd my hips more this way. So then I kind of planted my feet and did a little knee lever this way. That created some space. That's when I grabbed that ankle right here and was able to kind of push it away and get that inside knee in. Once I had the inside knee in, I just kind of started to work the rest of my knees up and things like that. You guys follow? So like, can I try on you? Let's see if I can pin this horse here. Okay. Ready? Go. We moved through a lot of positions. Obviously all of it. I think that like my whole life now kind of revolves around grappling, you know, like the bulk of my friends do it because it's such a demanding thing that I'm involved in, you know, that I have to be at the gym all the time. I have to be doing these things, and so like most of the people that I surround myself with, they also are doing these things too, because, you know, I don't have the option to have that many weekends and free nights available to go and hang out with these people and do these things with people that don't also do what I'm doing, you know. And so like it's kind of unfortunate, but like it's also like just a part of being in that lifestyle. And I think that like I get most of my value and everything out of grappling. And so it would be hard to pinpoint. I think competition wise, man, I'm gearing up for ADCC, and right now I feel better than I've felt in like a couple years, because I have a purpose, you know, and it's hard sometimes for me to even personally bring about purpose in my life outside of competition, because it's like what I started doing when I was such a young age, you know. And like my dad and my family was really like keen to make me compete, you know, not make me compete, but like, you know, it was a household thing to compete in physical feats, you know. That was kind of like what we did and where we found value and how we were purpose driven, you know. It's like, hey, let me get home and do this obstacle course that my dad made, or like, you know, they used to tie me up in the closet and like time me on how long I could get untied and get myself back downstairs to them and stuff like that. And so like finding purpose outside of competing has been like my goal in those in-between moments, you know what I mean? Because when I'm locked in and I'm competing, forget about it. Like I'm at my happiest, you know, but I can't do that forever. And so like I'm spending time now trying to find purpose and do different things within grappling, which it would be like building my community and friends, doing things like building the business in my gym, you know, doing this other stuff that is still involved with jiu-jitsu, traveling for jiu-jitsu, doing seminars here, you know, like different stuff like that, and building new purposes and having new fun and stuff like that. But I think that like being purpose-driven to compete is like, I mean, that's where I feel the most at home, the most happy, the most solid, you know. And so in this world of like where we are just kind of fed and everything's pretty easy, you know, we're not struggling to survive anymore and stuff. We're all just kind of finding purpose, and we're finding purpose based on like the ways that we were raised. And one of the ways that I was raised was, you know, trying to grapple people to the ground and win things like that. And I find a lot of value and purpose in that. And so you know, I get a lot out of that, and I'm trying to learn to get out a lot of the other things that I get from grappling and from whatever else this has given me, which is like, you know, hopefully making money and, you know, buying a house or some shit one day. I don't know, whatever normal people do. One last rendition here. Hey, judo brown belt in the house. Ippon. Let's do one last thing here, okay? So. We don't have to do that hop step in as much here, but like again, like this is helping me to kind of, I feel like, find my range, and also like find my range, and also like the circumference of these touches and things like that. Okay, so what I'll actually have happen, okay, is I'm gonna have, what's your name again? Brandon. I know Brandon. I promise you I do. I know his name. Okay. So, what I'm gonna have Brandon do is make a touch, and actually, like, I'll let him just do like 5 like this, standing close, nice and easy. Okay. So you're gonna do that to me. So bring your back leg in a little bit. Boom. Yep. 1, 2, and then I'm gonna time one for kind of like it's called a Tsubami Gaishi. Okay. So I'm just gonna come here, and like as I start to see him, I'm gonna draw back, and I'm gonna make my own touch. You guys follow? So like. If he, yeah, go ahead. We're just gonna like kind of here, and I don't want to come back too much. I don't want to like draw back. I don't want to swing and kick or anything like that. I'm not even like the best at this for sure. Okay, but like here, touches, just being able to kind of fling that little, like just draw it just out of the way and fling and touch, right? And a lot of people were asking me too about like those hop-ins and things like that. I don't want to be hanging on this because like I don't want this foot to be heavy. You follow? If anything, I want it to be like kind of pushed and light. But then I want to be able to kind of make it heavy after maybe I get his foot off the ground. Does that make some sense? Okay, so we're not like really hanging on our guys too much here. Okay, so here he's just touching. He's practicing touches. And I'm just gonna kind of time, feel the range, kind of trust that I can make that touch. And even then we can start to see where I'm just kind of staying sticky. And this is like the last portion of it, is just like practicing being able to stay sticky. Go ahead. Being able to stay sticky through this, because it's rarely gonna be like a clean ippon, but like being able to stay sticky. That's why I have the pad up here. This is gonna like be a little bit easier to kind of clear out in different ways. Here I can kind of make a little grip, right? And then I'm able to kind of pull him into this space where his leg's missing now. Cool? Good partner, Brian. Good partner. All right, cool. Let's run it. Ready? I think that like jiu-jitsu has given me some of my darkest and helped me out of some of my darkest points too. You know, like I remember tearing my ACL and realizing that like shit, you know, I gave up everything else in my life at that moment, you know, because it's when I started kind of teaching at a gym and decided to go all in on this jiu-jitsu thing. And I tore my ACL not long after, and it was like, well, shit, now I have no purpose. I have nothing. I am nothing. All of my value was attached to that, you know, and so like it also perpetuated some of my darkest moments, you know, because I'm already hurt, but now all my purpose is missing as well. But at the same time, at those moments, like you start to learn like, hey, I really like teaching and learning, you know what I mean? Like, cool. So now I'm finding purpose in studying all of this jiu-jitsu stuff and learning what this means and how to do these things and stuff like that, and then relaying that information to people and being able to watch people and stuff like that. And that was a moment where, like, you know, the injury put me at a dark point. The loss of competitive purpose put me at a darker point. And then this other facet of jiu-jitsu, this teaching, learning, running the gym, building relationships with students and things like that, then helped to pull me back out of it again, you know? And so I think that's a good example of a time where something like that happened. But I mean, this has been going on my whole life, man, you know? Like, there's been plenty of times that, like, I come back into this training or come back into something and feel at home and with purpose again, you know? Yeah, I mean, you know, it's clearly not impossible, right? Like, I think you look at some of these younger athletes that have done such a good job of, like, not even being the most, like, physical specimens, like, say, like a Joseph Chen or somebody that, you know, has been really intentional with his training and his studying and been really focused and has been able to, like, make himself really well known in 6 years of grappling, you know? And not everybody's built for that, but, you know, it's not impossible. I think that, like, if you focus and you enjoy the process and you really pay attention to what people around you are doing or people you can see online are doing that are doing the right things and getting good and have similar situations and circumstances to you that you can align with and understand. Because, you know, like, you can't all be like, well, I'm gonna be Mickey Rod, because, like, it was just a different case for him, you know, because he's built a certain way and he does a certain thing, you know, and he's very athletic and he wrestled before. But, you know, like, there's a route for everybody. So just, you know, figure out what your route is, figure out what your goals are, and you just have to be really focused. You have to make a lot of sacrifices. You know, I think that's what people don't get the most, is like the amount of sacrifice that you put in to be good at something and to acquire skills and to win in something so demanding with so little money involved, but, like, you need to make money and you have to, like, that's one of the most difficult things for young athletes and things like that. But, like, you have to be really dedicated to that thing and you have to, like, really focus, and you can't deviate, you know? If you do, you're gonna wind up a lot older trying to make these things come true, and maybe you just, you know, it's too late by then. I don't know.
I hope you guys enjoyed that. Stay tuned, we got a lot more coming. If you want to see more about Tempe Oakland and what we got coming up for our next episodes, just please like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned.